Good evening, race fans. I'm Pirate here with Black Flag Racing TV. It's Sunday night, which means it's time for Shenanigans on the Black Flag Sabbath. So here we are, Shenanigans. That is the name of the game. 3 races, 3 different classes, 3 different tracks. But you've only got 3 tyre choices. So where do you use your softs? Where do you use your hards? Where do you use your mediums? Remember, it's double bubble if you're using your medium tyres. It's triple points when you use your hards. So it's all about picking the right track with the right tyres. Do you use soft tyres on your favourite track, knowing you're only going to get single points? Or do you save that for the harder tracks? So we've got loads going on today. So let's find out what is occurring in the world of Black Flag Racing today. So there we are, we're at Sardegna. Quick look from last week. I haven't got the footage from last week yet. 1 because I'm lazy, and 2 so basically that's where we're at so far. So last week we had the 3 races. We did have a bit of an issue with lobbies last week, hence the fact we're starting an hour earlier. And we had to complete on a Monday. But after 3 races, Kevin is in the lead with 43 points. Wiggy in second with 40. Avalon in third with 30 points. TJ in 4th, 29. Phil in 5th, 23 points. Nick John Baker on 13 points. Old Man Joe on 10. And I competed in 2 of the 3 races. So there we go. That is where we're at. I'm not racing tonight, so on 5 points I will remain. So, who is out there this evening? Let's have a little look. See. I should probably turn this on, and then we know who's who. So we've got Kevin 77. He will be racing in the AMG, phenomenal car. This the AMG GT3, which is the GR3 class. Wiggy in the Corvette C7. Old Man Jay in the trusty Rooks WRX. Stormfly just jumped in. He's in the Porsche 911. Sorry, bear with me. I'll be back very shortly. Apologies for that, my family just arrived home quite unexpectedly and didn't use the gate. That's my daughter screaming in the background. She'll probably find another spider and cry again. Anyway, who else is out there? Stormfly in the 911. Avalon Shadow also in the 911. Loves that car. Old Man JWRX. Phil is using the BMW M, I think it's the M6. Cool Runnings, of course he's in the 911. What other car would he be using? And Nick John Baker in the WRX as well. So we've got 8 runners this evening. Format is essentially this. There is a 10-minute qualifying period followed by a 20-minute race. Tyres are on ×4, fuel is on ×5, I believe. We're going to check that just to be certain. Sorry, tyres are on ×3, fuel is on ×4. This is the race for GR3. We have 2 further races, which are a GRB and a GR4. So the GRB will be the Electro something like Monza without chicane, and then the GR4 will be Spa at night time. You can use your softs, hard and mediums. You have 1 compound per race. Once you've used it, you cannot use it again. So you have to be smart about where you use which compound. Use the compound. Do you opt to go for the softs on the track that you are the fastest at, knowing you're only going to get single points on the softs? Or do you opt for the hards in that instance and go for triple points? Because that's how it works. You get single points for the softs, double points for your medium track, and triple points for the hard track. None of this faffing around with fastest lap or pole position or anything like that. First race is fastest first, second race is slowest first, and the last race is again fastest first. So today it's GR3 at Sardegna C. As you just see old man Jay demonstrating where the walls are. Then we've got GRB at Monza without the chicane in the afternoon, and then we follow that up with 20 minutes around Spa in the GR4 cars at night time. Once you pick your car for the season, that is your car for the rest of the season. There is no changes. So simple as that. What else can we say? That is it. It is what it is. So, who's fastest at the minute? At the minute, it's looking like Kevin with 1:51.2. Currently parked up strangely on the gravel. Wiggy's looking pretty racy too. Can't see what his quickest time is. Looking around the low 52s though. Stormflight 52.4. It's only his third lap, so he's already getting quicker. Probably going to put a lot better time in. Bearing in mind we're going to be starting very shortly. Avalon Shadow 53.2 seems to be his quickest time, and he goes back into bits. Old man Jay, what's he giving us? 53.8. 53.8 seems to be the quickest. Cool Runnings with 55.4. Not got that Porsche dialed in yet. A lot of work to do to move up the order, I think. Can't see Nick John Baker just jumping in the pits. Avalon Shadow just jumping in. So it looks like Kevin, Wiggy, Old Man Jay, Mr. Cool, Old Man Jay, Mr. Cool, mediums, Stormfly and Shadow, Avalon Shadow, all starting with the racing softs here. With Phil, Nick, and Cool Runnings running the mediums. So interesting choice for those guys. And it does mean the softs are still available too, but double points for them in this race. Nobody opting to use the hards in strength. I think most people will run hards on Monza because it's lots of strength. Not many corners. So grip's not such a big issue, I think, yet like Monza. I think people will be more concerned with the grip around here because it's a really quick, really twisty track. But with 20 minutes, you're going to be doing 20 laps. There will be a little bit of tyre and fuel wear. Obviously, you can change your tyres if you want, but you do have to use the same compound. And you can refuel as you wish. But I imagine there'll be a little bit of fuel saving. Grizz Troopers has finally joined us. What car is Grizz Troopers going to use? Let's have a little look and see. What did he use last night? I can't tell you because he didn't actually race last week. So there we go. All right, the race is about to start. Out of nowhere. So here we go. Waiting for the lights to get on. If it happens. Here we go. Lights are on. Kevin on pole, Wiggy second, Stormfly third. And they are full start from Kevin. So Wiggy away and Wiggy in the lead straight away. And he's giving me that bloody bug again. It annoys me. I have to back out quickly and then jump back in. Sorry about that. There we go. So I can actually see what's going on from an overall perspective. So there we go. Wiggy out in the lead at the moment. Kevin 77. Really bad start. I said Wiggy's going to do Stormflies in the lead. Really bad start from Kevin 77. So he found himself actually stalling on the line. He's in third place. Avalon Shadow in fourth. Phil just going off the track there. Massive carnage at the back. Phil goes off. Everyone smashes into each other. So everyone except Avalon Shadow in a massive pile of twisted metal. Although it looks like Nick John Baker managed to avoid that. So Cool Runnings, Phil, Grizz Troopers, Old Man Jay, all snuggied up in that gravel truck together with a massive twisted metal. Now, if we had left damage on, we would be picking pieces of their cars up for weeks. So how far back has that put them? Grizz seems to have been the worst off, 1.9 at the back. Oh, Grizz and Old Man Jay really struggling. 11.6 seconds. Oh, actually, why are they restarting? If they are restarting purely because of the crash, that's bullshit. A crash is a crash. Very disappointed if that is why they're restarting. Well, what can we say? They're restarting because of what it looks like because of a crash. Maybe it's because someone didn't get in the room. Who was missing? I mean, for me, everyone's there. There's no one missing. No one tried to get in the room. Everyone was visible, and everyone was there. So, no, that is quite disappointing if they're starting because of that crash. I'll certainly find out. I'm sure they'll put me right and tell me that they started it for other reasons. So, race starting again. Will the grid stay the same? I'm not sure that it will. It's going to be a mixed up grid now, which kind of negates the whole point of the race, doesn't it? Yeah, so it has mixed up the grid. So they've restarted. I don't understand why. But we'll have that conversation, I'm sure. If anyone is on chat that can explain to me why they restarted that, that'd be awesome. So again, it's given me that stupid onboard shot and won't let me view it properly. Fucking stupid thing. So that's this time. Kevin is away well. Wasn't a restart just for that benefit. Shouldn't have been, but there we go. So he's away well. Stormfly away. Wiggy away well. Will we have a smash this time? And will they restart it again? So Kevin 77 is in the lead. This time he didn't stall off the line. Stormfly in second. Wiggy third. Cool Runnings currently in fourth place. Having a little battle with Wiggy. Does he touch him there? Or is that spin from both? So Wiggy spins, Mr. Cool Runnings through. But it looks to me that Mr. Cool Runnings just caught the back of him. But he did because he's giving that position up. So that actually lets Nick John Baker through into third. Avalon Shadow up into fourth. Wiggy in fifth. Good move from their Cool Runnings, giving them that place back. But it has cost them both. It's cost Mr. Cool Runnings several places actually. But you know, the rules is the rules, and he did get that place back. So good kudos for that. So Wiggy off into fifth place. Old Man Jay in seventh. Grizz Troopers in eighth. Who was that we just saw? Was that Phil in a wall? So we saw Phil's had another smash in at M6. He's running the medium tyres, so maybe he's struggling to get them lit up for this race. But out in front, we've got Kevin 77 from Stormfly. Wiggy has made his way, I say made his way up. But Mr. Cool Runnings in fourth. Again, Old Man Jay up in fifth. Because Avalon Shadow had a problem. He is way back down the order. So Wiggy in sixth, Avalon Shadow in seventh. Have these two had a coming together at all? Because it certainly looks to me that they plummeted down that order. So Nick John Baker at a minute is flying high up in third place. Mr. Cool Runnings with him in fourth, 1.8 seconds behind. A further 1.8 back to Old Man Jay in fifth. Can he keep that WRX on the road consistently? He's got Wiggy behind him, just 1 second behind, with Avalon Shadow for company. There's the three of them at the moment heading in towards turn one on lap 3. We are 2 minutes in to the restarted first race of Sunday Shenanigans. Grizz Troopers in 8th place, 3 seconds off that battle. And then it's another 3 seconds back to Phil in the M6. So clearly those medium tyres are not giving him the performance he was hoping for. Grizz Troopers running the softs. Avalon soft. Wiggy on the soft. Old Man Jay also on the soft. As we see a little spin there in the distance from Old Man Jay, which lets Wiggy and Avalon both through. And it certainly gives Grizz Troopers a little bit of hope as that gap is now down to 1.3 seconds. Cool Running still in 4th place. And they're starting to pull away a little bit. The gap to 4th at the moment, 2.1 second. And Mr. Cool Running's looking to make a move on Nick John Baker. Is this move on into turn 1? He's in the slipstream. He's looking to pull out. Under braking. What an absolutely fantastically good overtake. Look at that. Just drops in. Absolutely nails it. Up into 3rd place. And starts to pull away. So not only did he get him under braking, but a much better exit in that 911 to put him up into 3rd. And Nick John Baker now under some pressure from Wiggy. Is he going to find himself plummeting down the order with these faster guys behind, or will he hold him off? This is the quickest section of the track. Going to be tricky to make an overtake here. We're going to need a mistake. Is there a move into the final turn? Wiggy having to back off the power as he's stuck there behind Nick John Baker. Turning into the last corner. Does he get a better exit? Actually, not as good as you would have thought. Avalon Shadow just behind him. So he's got that view behind, he's got that view in front. He needs to clear Nick John Baker. Will he make a similar move up into turn 1? He's under the slipstream. He actually moves across a lot sooner than we saw the move made by Cool Runnings. And there we go, he is through. Next up, it's Avalon. Avalon trying to make the move now. Desperately trying to get through before this quick section. There's no way to overtake once you get in here, unless someone makes a mistake. And he is desperately looking for a way through. There just isn't one at the moment. Can't get past the WRX of Nick John Baker. So there, it's going to be either into the final turn, if you can get it. He's made that move. He's made that move in that quick section. The gap was just left open for him, but he's coming too hot. Hit the wall, and he's facing in the wrong direction. Absolutely disastrous. And Nick John Baker is through. Stays in 5th place, and the gap is now 6.7 seconds. As we see Phil coming up behind at speed behind Avalon Shadow. Is he about to make a move? He's certainly got the slipstream. Has he got the power in that M6 to pull past him into turn 1? He's alongside. They are side by side. The overtake is made. Can he make it stick into turn 1? Avalon Shadow much later on the brakes. Phil has the inside line, but Avalon just so much quicker getting the power back on that 911. So Phil moved up from 9th place into 7th, very nearly into 6th. Grizz Troopers 8 seconds back in 8th place with Old Man J for company. Is there a potential move on here for Old Man J? We will keep a little eye on that, but we do have to have a little look out front. And there was a yellow flag. Who has had a problem? That's Phil. Phil's had a problem somewhere because we can't even see him. He's spun off and he is back in last place yet again. 3 seconds off the pace. So out front at the moment, Kevin 77 with 1.5 seconds over Stormfly. His quickest lap is a 52.4. Stormfly has pulled out a 52.1. So with the fastest lap, these two are 18 seconds clear of the chasing pack. Well, I don't know why they restarted the race. This might have been a very different race had it continued on from where it was. I would assume that there was some sort of technical issue, and it wasn't just because there was a big crash and a false start. Because that would have been a much more interesting race after that big crash. But there we go. So Kevin 77 in the lead from Stormfly. The gap is 1.1 second. We are 6 minutes into this race. Is everyone going to be able to start fuel saving and get themselves to the end of the race? Or are they going to go into the pits at some stage? So there is another yellow flag. Grizz Troopers just speeding up again. So he's had an issue at the back of the pack. As we see the front runners already lapping Grizz Troopers after an issue. He is 11 seconds behind Phil. Phil now again closing up on the back of Old Man J. Is the overtake on into turn 1? He looks a little bit too far back. He would have to do a monumental throw up the inside here to hope to get around him. Does close the gap a bit, but not close enough to make that move. Old Man J with a little wobble coming out, but does stay ahead at this stage. Avalon Shadow, has he improved? Well, he's certainly keeping it on the road, but he's 16 seconds up from Old Man J, but he's still 4 seconds behind Nick John Baker, who's been doing a very good job actually. He was in 3rd at one stage, but finds himself back in 5th place now. And there he is, in 5th. Mr. Cool Runnings, 6 seconds up the road. Couldn't stick with the pace of Wiggy, but dialing in that 911 in a much better way than Avalon is at the moment. He is 3.3 seconds back from this man here, Wiggy. Wiggy 19 seconds off the pace out from out front. Just nowhere near at the moment. The gap is just so big. There was so much going on behind that it just allowed those front two to pull away into the distance, leaving Wiggy at the moment the best of the rest, really. He is now 3rd. He's 3 seconds clear of Cool Runnings. He's got a lot of work to do out front because that gap out front is still increasing. It's at 20.5 seconds now, and we're only on lap 10. Bearing in mind that a lap around here is little more than 50 seconds, 52, 53 seconds. The gap here, look at Stormfly and Kevin 77. Here's a battle right now. We're going on board with Stormfly as they go into the big turn 1. They've got Phil that they're trying to get round. Sorry, it's the final turn. They've got Phil they're trying to get round, but they're racing too. Phil stays on that left-hand side and gets a little bit of slipstream, but he's going to have to move into turn 1 at some stage. Stormfly under a little bit of pressure. Stormfly great under braking, very close to Kevin. Good job from Phil to keep out of the way. Absolutely impressed with that. Very impressed with that. And there we go. Kevin 77 currently retains the lead, but with these back markers, he's having to slow up. He can't be barging them out of the way. They've got no obligation to move straight away. You know, they should be compromising their own race. Bear in mind that Old Man Jay is racing Phil. They're going to have to wait until the last big. That's not right. We see there Kevin absolutely melting his way through, and that has led to Old Man Jay getting hit. Old Man Jay really should have stayed out of the way of Stormfly in that second phase, but did get hit in the first instance by Kevin. So Kevin down into second place. He's going to have to lap Old Man Jay again, but that's not on, buddy. You know, you could have gone round him into turn 1. The gap wasn't really there to be had. But there we go. We don't know if they were communicating on the comms, and it just went horribly wrong. It could have been a lag issue. Let's assume that was the case, actually, because we don't normally have those kind of instances here. So let's pretend it was an accident. But anyway, so Stormfly now in the lead. He's 2.1 seconds clear. HKRT, that's the Hellenic Knights Racing Team. Kevin 77. Back into second place at the moment. Stormfly currently with the fastest lap with a 51.8. Kevin with a 52.3. Little bit about half a second slower. Even that hasn't helped the charge of Wiggy. Wiggy with a 52.4 fastest lap. Holding on to fuel a little bit. We are past the halfway mark, so that fuel should last till the end. It's whether the tyres do. I'm looking at those on Racing Softs, and it looks to me that Stormfly's tyres are good. I think these softs are going to hold out for this 20 minutes without too much of a problem. So Wiggy there in third. He's maintaining that 3-second gap to Cool Runnings. Cool Runnings not closing up, but he's still 5 seconds, or should I say only 5 seconds ahead of Avalon. Avalon now past Nick John Baker, who is now up into 5th place, and he's 4.7 behind Mr. Cool Runnings. And there he is so this is the battle of the two 911s. Who has got the more pace? At the moment, Avalon is actually the second fastest man on the track with a 51.9. So actually outperforming Kevin in terms of speed. But, consistency over certainly the last 5 or 6 laps has been very good. Nick John Baker not got the pace of those cars out front. He's starting to drop away from Avalon Shadow at a rate. That's a couple of seconds a lap. In fact, lap 11, he lost 4 seconds almost on Avalon. So Phil getting into contention here? As we see Kevin with a big spin. He's off and he's spun. How close is Wiggy? Doesn't look like Wiggy's close enough to capitalise, but it looked to me there that was a big spin from Kevin. Just trying to push a little bit too hard. Don't know who that is that's just joined the room, but he's certainly not invited. You are welcome to join if you join the Discord, tick in, get the car, do the livery, and so forth and so forth. Kevin dropping into the pits. Is he looking to put a bit more fuel on board so he can go racy? Racing may be life, my friend, but not in this room. It's not. Mr. Cool Runnings into third, maybe. Wiggy certainly goes through. Cool Runnings is through. Avalon is through, and Avalon's already closed that gap to within 0.2 of a second. There is a move potentially here. Cool Runnings closing off that inside line. Very good defence there. Is Avalon going to try and do the little switcheroo? Doesn't make it work. Cool Runnings doing a great defensive job. We've got the two 911s absolutely duking it out here. Avalon with a bit of a run, but we're in the quick section now, and as we know, there is really no way to be making an overtake here. They are side by side there. This is going to be brave. turns in on him. A little bit too, nearly loses it actually there, Avalon. Has to back out. Cool Runnings stays ahead for another couple of laps. Avalon just a little bit too ambitious. We're trying to make an overtake there. And let's face it, there's only 2 corners on this track where an overtake is really viable. And that's turn 1 and the last turn that we've just seen there. The rest of the track is just too quick. And Avalon pulling over onto the grass, strangely. Why is he doing that? I'm assuming he had a little issue. But he's pulled over onto the grass. He's letting Kevin through. Interesting. So Kevin is through into 4th place. Avalon in 5th. Kevin on a bit of a charge now. Wonder why. I'm interested. I'm going to find out in between races why he let him through there. Well, first we've got to find out why the race was restarted, and then we've got to find out why he let him through in that instance. Very interesting. But again, this PS4, PS5 thing, it's very, very laggy. So it's difficult to tell what's lag and what's mistakes and stuff at the moment, which is incredibly frustrating. But it is what it is. So Avalon Shadow dropping into the pits. I'll call it a 20-minute race, but it's not. It's a half-hour race, isn't it? So he's going to have to drop in. Everyone's going to have to drop in because it is a 30-minute race, not a 20-minute race. I stand absolutely corrected. So Kevin 77 has done his second pit stop. He is right up behind Cool Runnings, looking to make a move. Trying to move around the outside. This section's just not. Again, people are trying to make overtakes here, and it's just not the place to be doing it. Yeah, it's too narrow a course. You're both going at full pelt. You know, the guy in front of you, you've got to, if you're past him, then you make the move. But no one so far has got past successfully on this section. And you're under no obligation to get out of the way. You're racing. So we go on for another lap. Kevin does move up as Wiggy's in the pits. Wiggy, so at the moment, Stormfly in the lead. And that lead is now 35 seconds. Now, is that enough for a pit stop? Big coming together, Nick John Baker. Was that Nick John Baker coming together with... Who was it? It looks to me to have been Grizz Troopers. Did they have a bit of a coming together there? Or was that spin of his ankle? Or was it, again, a lag problem? A lot of stuff going on. Really difficult at the moment to keep up with everything going on the track. Very feisty out there today, if there is some elbows out. But if that's the way we're playing it, then why not? So Grizz Troopers behind Old Man Jay. And it looks to me it's almost a lap behind him. Old Man Jay potentially lapping Grizz Troopers here. But has Grizz Troopers been in the pits? Don't think he has. He still needs to pit. Old Man Jay also needs to pit. He's in 8th place. He is 6 seconds behind Phil. Phil will be coming in this lap, I imagine. Starting just to get those medium tyres working better for him. The lap times have improved a little bit. And certainly has the consistency. Avalon Shadow has pitted now down into 6th place. Strangely, a couple of laps before he pitted, let Kevin through. They were racing. There was no particular reason to let him through, but we will get to the bottom of that incident. Nick John Baker just up ahead, 2 seconds, but I think he still needs a bit. Yes, he does. He will need to come in and get some more fuel. Wiggy has had his pit stop. He is in 4th with Cool Runnings 4 seconds ahead. Cool Runnings needs to pit at some stage, as does Stormfly. Now the gap at the moment, I say as does Stormfly, is out. He's now out of the pits, and he's come out of the pits 4 seconds clear of Kevin 77. So Kevin again made his way back up the order and on a charge to try and catch Stormfly now. So back of the pack, Grizz Troopers 32. It's 32 seconds back. Will need to be jumping into the pits very, very soon. As we see Phil go in for a change of tyres, and Old Man Jay going in as well for a change. Good time for Grizz Troopers to go in? Well, absolutely, because if you look at his fuel situation, he hasn't really got much choice. He's got 2 options. He can fuel or he can run out of fuel. So that's what he's going to have to do. Avalon Shadow, we know he has already fueled, as we see him absolutely whipping past Nick John Baker into 5th place. Nick John Baker, who still needs to pit this lap. So Phil and Old Man Jay both out. They are both out ahead of Grizz as he pulls into the pits. Avalon's got 11 seconds to chase down Wiggy. And has he got the pace to do it? Well, lapping at low to mid 52s. Wiggy, similar times. He's going to need a couple of errors because Wiggy is now bearing down on Cool Runnings. 1 second is the difference. Let's have a little look and see what we've got. There's the view. Cool Runnings is just behind. I think that's Phil. So he's got Phil. He's trying to lap. Can't get around him there. Wiggy having a look. Is there possibly an inside line? There's not. Mr. Cool Runnings defending very well. And he was also trying to lap at the same time. He's staying out. But it looks to me that Phil's pulling in his slipstream. He's going to try and unlap himself there. And Wiggy is being very clever. He was using the slipstream off the pair of them. As he makes that move, they're going to turn 1. Mr. Cool Runnings losing out on 2 fronts there. It looked to me at one stage like Phil got around him, but he didn't. Just held out with who's that? Nick John Baker with a 3-second pit line penalty. Every time. I mean, I get it quite a lot as well. You just, you're under the pressure of racing. You just forget. You've got to stay off that white line. So Wiggy bearing down now on Nick John Baker, making that move. He was under blue flags. Simple enough move to make. He is up to 3rd with Mr. Cool Runnings now. He's going to, I think we'll see him pull over at some stage onto his left-hand side, so right-hand side into the pits. Not yet. He's going again. He can't go the last 10 minutes of the race, though. Absolutely can't make it to the end. So where are we? Stormfly is out in the lead. 4.2 seconds clear of Kevin's 77. Kevin is 16.5 seconds up the road from Wiggy. We've just been watching Wiggy overtake Cool Runnings. Cool Runnings needs to go into pits. He's 1.7 behind, and he's only 9 seconds ahead of Avalon. So Avalon is going to regain a top 4 spot when we see Mr. Cool Runnings pull off into the pits in a lap or 2. Everybody else, I think, now has pit, other than Cool Runnings. Avalon Shadow, there we go, 9 seconds. He is 46. So if he wanted to pit again, which he doesn't need to, but if he wanted to, he absolutely could. Because Phil is 46 seconds behind. It's quite some way to be fair. Is he going to be under some pressure from Nick John Baker? His pace is mid 55s. Nick John Baker has been mid 54s. He's just come out of the pits. He's on fresher tyres. He's got a bit more fuel. Phil, it looks to me, didn't change his tyres when he went in to try and save a fraction of time. I'm not entirely sure that was the right idea on the medium. You probably get away with that on the hards. I can't imagine that's going to work too well on the mediums. Probably should have got some tyres because he's got to do another 10 minutes on them. And in 10 minutes time, they are going to be absolutely running. So Nick John Baker bearing down on him. Is he able to make this move? We look at him on board. Let's go into passenger seat. This is a great little shot. He's under some pressure from behind. He needs to bear in mind that he's got... Who's he got behind him? He's got Avalon behind him. So he's got to try and race Phil while letting Avalon through. Now the best way to do this is to do what he's doing now, which is pull off to one side, let Avalon through. He needs to jump straight into that slipstream. Now, buddy, now, don't let him get too far ahead. Jump into that slipstream. You're going to need that slipstream to pull you up the road after Phil. There we go. So he's now using that slipstream. As we see Avalon now bearing down on Phil. So we should see a similar overtake on the next lap from Avalon to move up the order through the order, should I say, to lap Phil in 6th. Now, here's the perspective. Kevin's at the side of the road. What happened? Grizz Troopers also at the side of the road. Was there a coming together between Kevin and Grizz Troopers? That is something we're going to need to look at. Did Kevin try another ambitious move on the fast better track? And there is a coming together there. Another coming together. That it is absolute carnage out there today. There has been crashes all over the racetrack. The first start at the lobby there was crashes, and then it's happened again. And Kevin pulling into the pits. Now, why is he doing it? He doesn't need tyres. He doesn't need fuel. It's been an absolute carnage out there. can't understand why it's been such carnage. You know, is it down to the issue of lapping? Because it seems to be most of the issues have been with people being lapped. Now, I thought we got to the bottom of what the expectation was. The expectation is that you would, you know the guys ahead of you. You would plan for them coming. You know this part of the course is the fastest part of the course. You know, these guys are racing too. That you can't expect them. I mean, we were talking about 51-second lap. And it's going to be the difference between 51 and 52 or 53 seconds. Everyone's in the same position. Everyone needs to lap everyone. Or to race everyone. I think you should be using the right places to overtake. And that section of this track is just not the right place to make that move, unless someone is pulled right over and slowed right down. So I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, but it looks to me that Kevin has disappeared off into the pits. He's unhappy, and maybe rightly so. I will have a look at the replay. Obviously, judgments will be made. But you know, at the end of the day, look, and there's another smash up ahead there. Was that Avalon Shadow? The Avalon Shadow with a massive spin. He is in third. He's still in third. But all change. See, with Kevin pulling into the pits and effectively retiring from the race, Stormflyer's got a 26-second lead. Wiggy promoted to second. Avalon Shadow to third. But he did spin out. So not only has there been people crashing into each other, there's been a lot of errors, a lot of racing errors today on this track. Grizz Troopers now is coming up in laps. Who's in front of him? Grizz Troopers have got Nick John Baker in front of him, who has just lapped him. He's off the track. Does he let Avalon through? Here he does. I don't think anyone should be expected to do that in a race. What he just did there, going off the track, no matter how far behind he is of anyone else, I don't think anyone should be expected to do that during a race. And I'm speaking out of back now. I think that the faster, it's a two-way thing. You know the guys are coming, so you prepare for where they're going to catch you. On a track like this that's really short, there's only 3 spaces really. There's here, there's down this straight, and there's at the end at turn 1. The rest of it is too quick, I think. Someone's going to have to compromise their race for someone else. That's not fair. Wherever you are on the track. But there we go. Cool Runnings there in 4th place. Nick John Baker holding firm in 5th, but has just been lapped by Avalon Shadow. So that shows the pace on this track today. Is that the guy in 5th has been lapped by the guy in 3rd. So the gap to Cool Runnings must be absolutely astronomical because it hasn't even given me a figure. So we look at where Cool Runnings is. Cool Runnings is actually not far off lapping Nick John Baker with 42.5 seconds and 50 for these guys 54-second lap. That's not far off. It's going to be something when the guy in 4th laps the guy in 5th. And who's that backwards? That's Phil backwards in 6th place. Cool Running just coming through to lap Phil. Is Old Man Jay close enough to capitalise? No, he's not. So Phil holds that position. He does lap Grizz Troopers actually. So Grizz Troopers are really on the go slow. No change out front. Front 2 miles and miles ahead. No battle there to be seen. Avalon Shadow in 3rd. Is Cool Runners going to catch him? There's 3 minutes left. Absolutely no hope of that. So there's your top 3. Stormflyer from Wiggy from Avalon Shadow. Cool Runnings 43 seconds ahead of Nick John Baker. He's not catching him. Phil 14 seconds behind Nick John Baker. So he's not certainly catching him. Old Man Jay, he's not catching Phil. Grizz is not catching Old Man Jay. And Kevin has decided to quit the race into the pits. Obviously, need to find out what happened there. He might have had to go away. But let's assume he has to have something along those lines, and it wasn't just he was pissed off with the crash. With that, that's not the way to do things. But there we go. It's been quite a race, and I think certainly one where the replay will need to be viewed. This is one of the reasons why we need a replay qualifying. We had it on GT Sport. We need a replay hotkey. Absolutely need a replay hotkey for GT7, so we can find out what happens in instances like that. But all the incidents will be reviewed after the race, and you know, we'll have a look and we'll make decisions accordingly. Right, the stewards will have a look. But for me, there was a couple of instances there where people were trying to lap themselves, to lap other cars, just in the wrong place, just being a little bit impatient and not waiting a couple of corners, or a corner, or a corner, maybe 2 corners, to make that move, so it didn't compromise either of them too much. But it is what it is. But a lot of personal errors out there today. From actually, pretty much Stormfly, I think he's the only driver I didn't see make a mistake. Everybody else had a real spin or made a mistake of some sort. So we're on lap 33. This will it be the last lap of the race? It might. He might just squeeze in a lap 34 if he's really quick. I don't think he's going to want to. Stormfly, is he? Yeah, he's going to squeeze in a lap 34. Wiggy won't, but he certainly won't want to, because he's not got enough fuel to do that. So Stormfly on lap 34, he will finish on 1 lap ahead of everybody else. I see Wiggy coming round. Oh, actually, has he got another? He is going to have another lap. Is he? Yeah, he is. Let's have a look. Does he make lap 34? Does he want lap 34 with such low fuel on board? He's certainly putting the hammer down. I think he's just missed out. There we go, finish. Oh no, he does. He just squeezes in. So Wiggy stays on the last lap. Has he got enough fuel to make it? Although it doesn't make any difference, because the Avalon Shadow will be finishing the race here. So Avalon Shadow, final lap. He will cross the line in 3rd place. Old Man J finishing in 7th. So Wiggy, even if he runs out of fuel, will just by default, by milliseconds, absolute milliseconds, will make it to the end of this lap. I think he's very lucky there, actually. Cool Runnings coming home in 4th. So Stormfly 1st, Wiggy will be 2nd, Avalon Shadow 3rd. 4th is Cool Runnings, Nick John Baker in 5th. Phil in 6th, Old Man J 7th. Grizz Troopers 8th, Kevin in last place. Had to jump into the pits for whatever reason. As we just wait for Wiggy to finish. There is Wiggy crossing the line with no fuel in 2nd place. So that's the end of that. Stormfly from Wiggy from Avalon Shadow are your top 3. Lot to talk about at the end of that race. But what we will do is we'll analyse it later. We've still got 2 more races to go. We've got the next one up, which is the GRB, I think, if I remember rightly. Shall I check? Let's check before I start talking. Yes, we've got the GRB at Monza with no chicane. Definitely got to save that replay. There is a lot to look at there. So we will be back very shortly with race number 2. So 5-minute break, and then we'll be back with you. Thanks for sticking with us.